Hello and welcome to the video on theme and motif in literature. Theme. Why do some stories stick with us over time? Why are we drawn to them time and time again? Often it is the idea on which the story is built. It's theme. So what is theme? It's a message that readers can take away from a story and apply to real life. The central idea or insight about life or human behavior that a story reveals. Theme is developed through story elements, plot, conflict, characters, etc. Theme is expressed through the author's use of literary devices, such as symbolism and motifs. Theme is a sentence, not a word. Universal themes. Different writers from different cultures often express similar themes. A theme is a generalization about life or human nature. Certain types of experiences are common to all people everywhere. Theme connects people to common human experiences. They provide guidance and give us a better understanding of life. Finding the theme. First, identify the subject or topic, typically one word, love, loyalty, wealth, or something else. Number 2, ask yourself what you learned about this subject or topic. For example, is love faithful or deceiving? Is loyalty to a leader noble or foolish? Is wealth worth sacrifice or a burden? Pay attention to what characters learn. Does the main character change? Does a character realize something he or she did not know before? How does a character handle conflict? Example, finding the theme. The conflict. Two friends find a wallet. One friend wants to return it to the owner. The other wants to keep it. The resolution. They return the wallet and share a small reward. A possible theme. People are often rewarded for making the right moral decision. There is no single way to state the theme. People may express the same theme in different words. The most meaningful literary works often have more than one theme. Let's practice. Here's a synopsis of The Interlopers by Saki. Because of a feud over a piece of land, Ulrich and George are bitter enemies. One night, they encounter each other on the disputed land. Each thinks of killing the other. Suddenly, a huge tree falls and pins them both under its weight. At first, the men threaten each other. After a while, however, they notice each other's suffering, make a pact of friendship, and look forward to being rescued and living in peace. Then they are attacked by wolves. What is the conflict and how is it resolved? The main conflict is that two men are fighting over a piece of land. It's resolved when they have to put the feud behind them because they're both facing possible death after the tree falls and pins them. So what do the characters learn? That survival is more important than land ownership. Letting go of hatred feels good. At first they're excited because they're going to move forward, they're going to be rescued, and they're going to live in peace. So it feels good to let go of the feud. But what is the theme? Stated in a sentence. Of course, readers know or can infer that when they're attacked by wolves, they're probably not going to make it out of the situation. So the theme that we can take away is even though it's time for forgiveness and they are going to put the grudge behind them, that their grudge and their hatred towards one another is what actually led to the tragedy in the first place. If one had not been hunting the other, if they had not had the dispute over the property that was so huge that they never would have been in this particular situation in the first place. Another possible theme is that sometimes it's too late for forgiveness. So even though they do reach a point in their feud or in their relationship where they're ready to move on and to become friends and to live in peace, it's simply just too late. Remember, theme is the main idea or message of a literary work. It is a universal statement. A significant statement a story is making about society, human nature, or the human condition. Theme is not the subject of the work, but instead it is an insight about life or human nature. Theme is an idea. Identifying themes. Themes are not explicit. They're not going to be clearly stated to you most of the time. They're going to be implied, and they're going to be bigger than the story. So you have the small world of the story and what's happening within the context of the story, and then you have the theme, which is the big world. It's the real world, and the theme can be applied to the real world. So you can kind of take that home with you and use it in your everyday life. Let's practice a little bit. Searching for meaning. Take a look at this excerpt here, Trouble at School. Jenny hated reading class. She didn't understand point of view or figurative language, and not knowing how to do the work frustrated her. She asked the teacher for help, but he spoke so fast and used such big words that she still couldn't understand. The teacher asked if she understood, and she nodded her head, but she didn't. Jenny's friend Maurice knew that Jenny was having trouble, and rather than giving Jenny all of the answers, Maurice explained to Jenny how to solve the problems. Maurice spoke clearly and at Jenny's level, and Jenny was happy that she finally learned how to do the work. Later in the week, Maurice was having trouble in math class. He didn't understand coordinates and was really frustrated. Seeing that Maurice was having problems, Jenny, who understood math very well, taught Maurice coordinates. The friends made honor roll that quarter. So some possible themes that we could take away from this story: cooperation is the key to success, or we can all do better when we work together. Let's talk about motif. Motifs are a type of symbol. What is a symbol? A symbol is an object, a picture, a written word, or a sound that is used to represent something else, either by resemblance, convention, or association. Every language has symbols. In fact, our names are symbols that represent us as individuals. Symbolism. A symbol may have more than one meaning, or its meaning may change from the beginning to the end of a literary work. It could be personal, a meaning uniquely associated with our experiences. It can be contextual, a private meaning created by an author. It can be cultural, a meaning uniquely influenced by our culture. Example, dogs represent faithfulness in China, but impurity in Indian or South Asian cultures. A symbol could be universal, a meaning that is given to a thing by most people and most cultures. For example, lions represent deity, power, and courage in many cultures. So what's the difference? Well, a symbol is going to be a concrete object used to represent an abstract idea. A motif is a symbol that is repeated in a work of literature. It's found on multiple occasions in the same work. For example, look for a pattern. The symbol may be repeated in a variety of ways. In Moana, the sea or the ocean in Moana can be seen not only as the setting, and it sort of contributes to the conflict in different ways, but it also becomes a character throughout, where it actually has a bit of personality. It's reflective of some of the characteristics of the main characters. We see the ocean is a little bit playful sometimes. The grandmother even says she likes how the ocean misbehaves from time to time. We see that it shows Moana and their discussions about that. We also see the ocean as being kind of supportive in different ways, acting as a character. It behaves in ways that actually help out Moana. It keeps Maui from getting away from her in the very beginning. We also see it work on different levels depending on the perception of the ocean. There's a lot of superstition around the ocean. We see that it's connected to spirituality, particularly with the grandmother, and we see that personified at some point. And it's also symbolic of cultural identity when Moana finds out that her people used to be voyagers, and that's why the sea seems to call to her. So we see it operate in a lot of different levels, but it's consistently repeated throughout the entire film. A motif is a unifying element in an artistic work, especially any recurring image, symbol, theme, character type, subject, or narrative detail. And just like in Moana, sometimes it's going to transition between a couple different aspects or elements in the story. You'll see recurring structures, contrasts, or literary devices that can help to develop and inform the text's major themes. It allows us to see main points and themes that the author is trying to express in order that we might be able to interpret the work more accurately. Let's practice a little bit with Motif by looking at The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Let's talk about dreams. So how are dreams used as a motif throughout the novel? So here are a few quotes. There are many more quotes out there with dream references throughout that's repeated throughout the novel consistently. And it really does start out with Santiago and that recurring dream that he has. He says that maybe the church with the sycamore growing from within had been haunted. It had caused him to have the same dream for a second time, and it was causing him to feel anger toward his faithful companion. So he's getting a little upset with the sheep and the wandering, and he keeps having this recurring dream. And he goes to see the gypsy, and there's talk of the dreams and the interpretation of the dream. She says that it's the language of God. She says it's very difficult to interpret, even though we do find out the dream really has a literal meaning throughout the story. So the boy was disappointed. He decided that he would never again believe in dreams. So he kind of gives up on his dream, at least temporarily, after he visits the gypsy. Later, we see in there that it said that you dream about your sheep in the pyramids, but you're different from me because you want to realize your dreams. I just want to dream about Mecca. And so we see that the merchant just does not follow his dream. He just likes to have it. He doesn't want to see it realized. He doesn't want to know if his dream's everything that he thought it would be. He just doesn't want to achieve his personal legend. The alchemist said no matter what he does, every person on earth plays a central role in the history of the world, and normally he does not know it. So thinking about the little story that the alchemist tells Santiago about the man who had a dream for his poet son, and we find out that it's actually the soldier's son who is remembered over time. Why don't people's hearts tell them to continue to follow their dreams, the boy asked the alchemist, because that's what makes a heart suffer most, and hearts don't like to suffer. So this idea that it's not always going to be easy to achieve your goal or to get your dreams, but you have to keep trying. It's going to result in suffering. You're going to hit obstacles and challenges. So we really see dreams are repeated both as literal dreams and figuratively speaking dreams as in goals. We see Fatima talk about how she's part of Santiago's dream, his destiny, his fate. So dreams work both figuratively and literally throughout the novel. So when we look at the dreams, and we can interpret this motif then, and it will help us to reveal themes like follow your dreams or follow your heart, that your personal legend is your purpose in life. One should keep reaching for one's goals. Don't let disappointment and struggle keep you from accomplishing your goals. So dreams work in different ways throughout the novel and really reveal a lot of related themes and ideas. If you have any questions about theme or symbolism or motifs, definitely make sure to ask your teacher.